Namaskar. Good morning, brothers and sisters. I welcome all my brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, students and scholars, teachers and trainers, professors, professionals, listeners, learners, officers, officials. I welcome respected doctors and directors. I welcome adorable ministers and managers. I welcome honorable administrators, advisors, advocates, the most honorable President Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. I welcome all. I Dr. Rakesh from USA, heartily, cordially welcome. As we have discussed about the literature, English literature, language and grammar. Yesterday we started metaphysical poets. Major poets of the metaphysical school: John Donne, who born in 1572, William Shakespeare, who born in 1564. So William Shakespeare is the senior of John Donne. But they have their own place, own standard in writing. Often regarded as the father of metaphysical poetry. What is said about John Donne? Especially he belongs to metaphysical school. He writes about metaphysics. Physics means something visible. Meta means invisible. Means un. Read, unspoken, unwritten, with other similar emotional, intellectual meanings of the meta. As meta have brought revolution in information technology, the same metaphysical school was attended by John Donne. Today's technology totally is being influenced by foreigners. Donne's work exemplifies the qualities that define the school. His poems are rich in conceits, paradoxes, and complex exploration of love, faith, and mortality. Then the holy sonnets and songs and sonnets are particularly famous, with poems like the Canonization and Better My Heart. Three persons gods, showcasing his skill in blending religious devotion with personal emotion. George Herbert, born in 1593, means just after the 94 years of Indian discovery. George Herbert born in 1593 and he died in 1633. He died after the establishment. He died after 33 years of the establishment of East India Company in 1600. Herbert's poetry is deeply spiritual, often reflecting his struggles with faith and his relationship with God. His work is characterized by its sincerity and simplicity, even as it employs the intricate metaphysical style. Poems like The Altar and Love are celebrated for their profound religious insight and emotional depth. Andrew Marvell, who born in 1621, George Herbert was living at that time, and after the birth of Andrew Marvell in 1621, George Herbert died in 12 years in 1633. Andrew Marvell, born in 1621 and died in 1678. Marvell is known for his versatility, as William Shakespeare is also known as a versatile genius because of his different writings. In writing tragedies, comedies, semi-tragedies, semi-comedies, not only in writing poems, he also worked a lot in prose writing. So, in 1678, Andrew Marvell passed away. Marvell is known for his versatility, writing with political satire. Andrew Marvell wrote politically and deeply reflective poetry. His poem, one of his poems, to his poem Stress, is a quintessential metaphysical poem combine, combining carpe from themes with elaborate imagery and a logical structure that builds to a compelling conclusion. Marvell's work often reflects the tensions of his time, balancing political and personal concerns with metaphysical exploration. Henry Wagon. Henry Wagon, born in 1621, both Henry Wagon and Andrew Marvell, born in the same year in 1621, and Henry Wagon passed away in 1695. After the 17 years after of 17 years after the death of Andrew Marvell, Henry Wagon died in 1695. Wagon's poetry is infused with a mystical sense of time. Henry Wagon's poetry is infused with a mystical sense of the divine, often contemplating the afterlife and the eternal. His work, influenced by the religious upheavals of the time, is marked by a deep sense of longing for spiritual transcendence. Poems like The Word and They Are All Gone into the World of Light reflect his preoccupation with mortality and the soul's journey beyond death. Influence and legacy. The metaphysical school of poetry had a significant impact on on the development of English literature, particularly in its influence on later poets, though initially criticized for being too obscure and difficult. Metaphysical poets was later recognized for its originality and intellectual depth. In the 20th century, poets like T.S. Eliot and Ezra Pound admired the metaphysical poets for their ability to fuse thought and emotion, and for their innovative use of language and form. T.S. Eliot in particular praised the metaphysical poets for their unified sensibility, the ability to blend intellectual thought with emotional experience. This approach, according to Eliot, was something modern poets could learn from, as it countered the fragmentation of thought and feeling that he saw in contemporary poetry. The metaphysical school also contributed to the broader development of English poetry by pushing the boundaries of what poetry could achieve, both in terms of content and form. Their work laid the groundwork For later development in poetry, including the rise of modernist and postmodern and postmodernist experience. Now let us discuss important question answers. What is the central theme of Spencer's One Day I Wrote Life? One Day I Wrote Her Name. The central theme is the transient nature of human life and the desire to immortalize love through poetry. How does Spencer contrast immortality and mortality in One Day I Wrote Her Name? Spencer contrasts the ephemeral nature of life with the eternal nature of written words, suggesting that love can be immortalized through poetry. What poetic form does Spencer use in One Day I Wrote Her Name? Spencer uses the sonnet form, especially the Spenserian sonnet. How does Spencer's poem reflect the Renaissance theme of art's power to immortalize? The poem reflects the Renaissance belief that art, particularly poetry, can capture and preserve human experiences beyond the physical limitations of life. Who is the face that launched a thousand ships? The phrase refers to Helen of Troy, whose beauty is said to have sparked the Trojan War. In which play by Marlowe does the line "the face that launched a thousand ships" appear? The line appears in Marlowe's play Dr. Faustus. What does Helen of Troy symbolize in Marlowe's Dr. Faustus? Helen of Troy symbolizes ultimate beauty and the destructive power of desire. How does Marlowe's depiction of Helen reflect Renaissance humanism? Marlowe's depiction of Helen reflects humanism, Renaissance humanism through the emphasis on individual beauty and the tragic consequences of human desires. Jordan, go and a catching, go and a catch a falling star, and Holy Sonnet 10, that be not proud. What is the tone of Dunn's go and catch a falling star? The tone is cynical and somewhat shocking, as Dunn challenges the possibility of finding a faithful woman. How does Dunn challenge conventional beliefs in go and catch a falling star? Dunn uses hyperbole and irony to challenge the idea that true faithful love is attainable. What is the central theme of Dunn's Holy Sonnet 10, Death Will Not Proud?
how does how does the how does the challenge conventional belief in go and catch a falling star? Then uses hyperbole and irony to challenge the idea that true, faithful love is attainable. What is the central theme of Donne's Holy Sonnet 10? Let be not proud. The central theme is the powerlessness of death and the belief in eternal life.
how does the personify death in Holy Sonnet 10? Then personifies death has a powerless entity, suggesting that it is not as fearsome as it is often perceived. What is the structure of Holy Sonnet 10? The poem is structured as a Petrarchan sonnet. George Herbert, the bully. What does the bully symbolize in George Herbert's poem, The Bully? The bully symbolizes God's mechanism to draw humanity closer to Him by withholding rest, leading humans to seek divine peace. Divine peace. What is the central theme of the pulley? The central theme is the idea that human restlessness is a divine gift that draws individuals closer to God. How does Herbert's The Pulley reflect his religious beliefs? The poem reflects Herbert's Christian belief that God deliberately withholds certain comforts to guide humans toward spiritual fulfillment. John Dryden, a song for Saint Cecilia's Day. What is the occasion of Dryden's A Song for Saint Cecilia's Day? The poem was written to celebrate Saint Cecilia, the patron saint of music. On her feast day, how does Dryden poetry the power of music in A Song for Saint Cecilia's Day? Dryden portrays music as a divine force capable of moving both heaven and earth. Both heaven and earth. Influencing emotion and even shaping creation. I wrote her name upon the strand, but came the waves and washed it away. Again I wrote it with a second hand, but came the tide and made my pain his prey. Edmund Spenser, who wrote this poem, one day I wrote her name. Amoretti is a collection of 89 sonnets written by Edmund Spenser in the late 16th century. Sonnet 75 specially addresses the theme of Immortalizing love. Spencer wrote these sonnets to woo and celebrate his courtship with his future of life, with his future life Elizabeth Boyle. In this particular sonnet, the speakers attempt to etch his beloved's name on the sand illustrates the longing for permanence in love despite being constantly thwarted by the inevitable passage of time symbolized by the relentless tide. The poem captures the transient nature of love and the inevitable passage of time. The speaker's act of inscribing his beloved's name on the sand symbolizes his attempt to immortalize her and their love. However, the waves repeatedly wash the name away, signifying the impermanence of human efforts against the forces of nature. Despite his repeated attempts, the tide persists in erasing his efforts, likening it to how time erases even the most sincere expressions of affection. The poem reflects the futile struggle against the unstoppable march of time and the fleeting nature of human existence. Not so let baser things devise to die in dust, but you shall live by fame. My verse, your virtues, race shall eternize, and in the heavens write your glorious name. The excerpt is from Edmund Spencer's sonnet sequence Amoreti, written in the late 16th century. Amoreti comprises 89 sonnets that Spencer penned to court and celebrate his future wife. Elizabeth Boyle Sonnet 75 specially delves into the theme of immortalizing love. In this sonnet, the speaker expresses his determination to ensure his beloved's enduring fame and reputation through his poetry. The content of immortalizing love and the desire for permanence Despite the inevitability of time passes, is evident in this particular excerpt. The poem reflects the speaker's determination to immortalize his beloved's virtues and name through his verse. He rejects the idea of her succumbing to mortality. Insisting that while lesser things may perish, she will live on through his poetry and be eternally remembered. The speaker's commitment to preserving his beloved's legacy is conveyed through the promise to inscribe her glorious name in the heavens, emphasizing the enduring power of poetry to transcend time and mortality. The poem encapsulates the timeless theme of immortalizing love and the human aspiration for permanence in the face of transience. What is the central theme of Edmund Spenser's poem? The central theme of the poem revolves around the transient nature of love and the inevitable passage of time. Why did the poet write the beloved's name on the sand? The poet wrote the beloved's name on the sand to symbolize the impermanence of life and the fleeting nature of love. What happens to the name written on the strand? The waves wash away the name written on the strand, symbolizing the eraser of memories and the transitory nature of love and life. How does the poet deal with the loss of the name? The poet finds solace in the idea that although the name written on the stand, the, the sand may be washed away, the love in his heart will remain eternal and unchanged. What literary devices are used in the poem to convey its message? The poem employs various literary devices such as metaphor, symbolism, the act of writing the name on the sand, and personification, the waves erasing the name to convey its message. What does the poet ultimately learn from this experience? The poet learns that while physical manifestations of love and may fade, the feelings and emotions associated with love remain timeless and everlasting in the heart. Comment on the Spenser's use of sonnet form. Edmund Spenser's sonnet, "One day I wrote her name upon the strand," is a poignant exploration of love, time, and the transient nature of existence. Spenser employs the sonnet form, typically comprising 14 lines and a structured rhythm scheme, to convey these themes with eloquence and depth. Through intricate language and metaphorical imagery, Spenser captures the essence of fleeting moments and the enduring power of love. The sonnet begins with a vivid sense vivid scene where the speaker inscribes his beloved's name in the sand, emphasizing the impermanence of this act. The presence of the written name on the unstable surface of the shore symbolizes the ephemeral nature of life itself. The fleeting gesture becomes the central motif in the poem, highlighting the fragility of human existence and the inevitability of change. Spencer's use of the sonnet form with its rigid structure and specific rhyme scheme, typically A B A B C D C D E F E F E G in the English sonnet, serves as a framework for the exploration of these themes. As the structured nature of the sonnet mirrors the ordered yet delicate aspects of life and love that the poet seeks to convey. The regular rhyme scheme also contributes to the musicality of the poem, creating a harmonious flow that enhances the emotional impact of the verses. Moreover, the volta or the thematic shift often found in the closing lines of the sonnet plays a significant role in Spenser's composition. In one day I wrote her name upon the string. The volta occurs in the final quatrain where the speaker contemplates the effects of time and nature on the inscription. The volta marks a shift in focus from the immediate act of writing on the sand to the broader implications of mortality and change. It emphasizes the contrast between and temporal nature of human existence and the enduring quality of love. Spenser's use of metaphor and imagery within the sonnet is also noteworthy. The comparison between the inscribed name and the shifting waves that ultimately erase it reflects the inevitability of time, eroding even the most heartfelt expressions of devotion. The metaphorical elements in the poem deepen the emotional resonance and contribute to the overarching themes of love and impermanence. Additionally, the sonnet's structure allows Spenser to craft a compact yet powerful narrative. The limited space of 14 lines compels the poet to distill complex emotions and ideas into concise and evocative language. Each word and image carries significant weight within the sonnet, contributing to its richness and depth. In conclusion, Edmund Spenser's use of the sonnet form in One Day I Wrote Her Name Upon the Stone showcases his mastery in exploring the theme of love, transience and the passage of time. The structured love of sonnet with its formal rhyme scheme and volta provides a framework for the poet to convey profound emotions and ideas within a concise yet impactful space. Through intricate language, metaphorical imagery, and a keen understanding of the sonnet structure, Spenser creates a timeless piece that resonates with readers, inviting a reflection on the impermanence of human existence and the enduring power of love. I thank all my brothers and sisters, ladies, gentlemen, students, scholars, teachers, trainers, professors, professionals, officials, respected doctors and directors, honorable minister managers, honorable advocates, advisors, administrative advisor, the most honorable present ministry. I thank all of you. Thank you very much. Thank you.